Thank you for coming to our session, Where Will We Be Without Our Buddies? This is a case study of performing arts experience for students with special needs and university student buddies. My name is Jacqueline Smith and I am the primary researcher, and the co-researcher is Vanessa Bond. Educators and researchers in both general and music education fields have attempted to define the skills necessary for educators to include children with disabilities. Researchers who investigated the impacts of instruction in music classrooms when including students with disabilities urged more training and preparation for music teachers. These researchers reported that pre-service and in-service teachers felt ill-prepared to teach children with disabilities and desired more training and professional development. Teacher educators and researchers have responded by creating opportunities for pre-service teachers to work with students with disabilities in authentic context learning experiences. Garrity and Harrigan in 2013 examined the effects of participation in a 10-week performing arts experience on the musical and social growth of children with disabilities and determined conditions that facilitate learning in music among students with disabilities. This unique performing arts experience, where each student was paired with an adult advocate or buddy, served as a model for the current study. The researchers recommended that the assignment of a buddy may lead to increased success in music. Researchers examining authentic context learning experiences for pre-service teachers found that as a result of these experiences, pre-service teachers reported greater confidence in their ability to teach music to children with exceptionalities and could identify successful teaching strategies. Responding to the call for pre-service teachers to acquire more experience in authentic contexts for working with students with disabilities and to the benefits of using a buddy system, we sought to examine a performing arts program following the Garrity and Harrigan model from a holistic point of view. Therefore, the purpose of this case study was to examine a program in which pre-service professionals gain authentic context learning experience working with children with disabilities and where the children receive a performing arts experience. In this study, we employed social constructivism as a theoretical framework. Human beings make meaning as they engage with the world and interact with others. Individuals are multifaceted and influenced by their social, cultural, and historical context. Therefore, so too are their interpretations of their experiences. As such, we sought to describe the case and its impact on all actors involved as interpreted by the actors themselves and from as many perspectives as possible. Our framework guided decisions about our research process, detailed in the following section, including the emergent nature of our study design, use of reflexivity, and interpretation of findings in which we strove to maintain the complexity of the participants' lived experience. The intent of a case study is to provide an in-depth description of an entity situated in a specific context and is understood by the participants, with emphasis on studying complex social phenomena in a real-life setting. Case studies seemed the appropriate methodological choice for investigating the Arts Connection project. Specifically, we chose Stake's conception of case study design because of his constructivist, interpretivist orientation and view of the researcher as a partner in discovery. It is typical in case study design that a researcher explores a case in a bounded system, bounded by time, place, and activity through detailed data collection using multiple sources of information. The case for this intrinsic case study is the Arts Connection Project, or ACP. This is a pseudonym. A 12-week performing arts experience provided by university students for school-age children with disabilities on the campus of a mid-sized university in the northeastern United States. We selected this case because of our own involvement with the project. I initiated the program in alignment with my research and teaching interest and served as program director. Vanessa taught in the music education division of the university, previously served as a research mentor for me, and worked in a different department of the community music and dance school, but did not have any direct involvement in the Arts Connection project. In exploring our own researcher bias, we situate ourselves as white, middle-class, neurotypical, cisgender female music educators. We initiated our researcher partnership to foster reflexivity in order to utilize both emic and etic perspective in the design and execution of the study. As members of the community, we highlight in this investigation, we acknowledge our desire for the ACP to be a positive experience for all involved. We recognize that our background and position have affected our research process, and we have attempted to keep this knowledge at the center of our work when engaging in dialogue with each other, journaling, analyzing data, and sharing our interpretations. The Arts Connection project took place in a community music and dance school associated with the mid-sized private university in the northeastern United States. At the time of the study, the community music and dance school served over 2,800 children in the region with private and group education experiences in the arts. Although students of diverse abilities participated in the community school programs, no programs focused on children with disabilities prior to ACP. The community music school existed under the umbrella of the university's School of Music, Dance, and Theater. The School of Music, Dance, and Theater was one of several schools and colleges at the university, all of which were represented in the participant population. The participants. Representatives from all stakeholder groups involved at ACP participated in this study for a total of 21 participants. These groups were broken down as such. There were 8 student volunteers from across university programs, including 2 student directors for music and dance. 22 cast members of children with special needs. 10 parents participated in the study, parents of the cast members, and they were interviewed in focus groups. There were 2 administrators that were directors of the university programs involved who were also participants. We examined participant experiences in ACP through qualitative data collection at rehearsals, a public performance at the conclusion of the project, and during interviews conducted within 3 weeks of the final performance. All events took place during the spring academic semester of 2017, the first year of the program. As an additional and secondary source of data, we collected email correspondence in spring 2018 from some of the initial participants who also participated in the second year of the program. We focused on participant experiences connected with the project, such as arrival on the first day, strategies used during rehearsals, and feelings expressed post-performance. We were interested in any influence the project might have had on other aspects of life as well. Although we inquired about participants' perceived growth or change, either in themselves or observed in the children, it was not our intent to measure growth or look for evidence of increased musical or social understanding. Using multiple sources of data is a hallmark of case study design. Therefore, we gathered various types of data from multiple sources to achieve the desired depth and breadth of information needed to provide a description of the case. Our primary data collection occurred through interviews. Vanessa conducted single one-on-one interviews with each university student participant averaging 20 minutes. She conducted 3 focus group interviews with different groups of parents. And she conducted a 30-minute face-to-face joint interview with both directors of the university departments involved. We followed up with some email 1 year later for students that were still involved in the second year. We video recorded half of the 12 90-minute rehearsals that occurred during the project, as well as the final performance. We collected several documents and artifacts pertinent to the program, including personal statements submitted by university volunteers when they applied to be a mentor, written communication with parents, materials used to advertise the program to both parents and university volunteers, notes from planning meetings, other pertinent documents to the development and running of the project, and videos of the children talking about the program that was used during the performance. Our findings. The overarching finding was that the buddy system was a key feature. Similar to Garrity and Harrigan in 2013, parents and university buddies commented on the benefits and importance of having a buddy. The availability of a one-on-one buddy allowed children to participate in a large group performing arts experience when they otherwise would not have been able to. Parents remarked that the buddy system was what we came for. It was critical to their child's success, as the majority of participants received one-on-one support in their school environments. Parents cited activities such as sports, classes in the arts, scouts, and other after-school activities that required their children to be able to participate in the group without any one-on-one support. Because of the lack of support for their child, the parents explained that there was a lack of arts experiences available to children with disabilities. Parents were quick to clarify that their children were encouraged and welcomed by various groups to participate, but the reality of needing individual support prevented their children from succeeding in the activities. ACP was the first program that they had experienced where their children had one-on-one support throughout each rehearsal, and thus where their children participated successfully without parental intervention. This is an excerpt from a parent following the performance, so please excuse there is some background audience noise, but you can hear what she had to say about the importance of a buddy.
All right. Well, as I said, I sit here and I smile at my children. I'm proud of them. But if there's one thing that gets me to tears, that brings me to tears instantly, it's thinking about the buddies. And my kids couldn't do this without the buddies. And buddies make it possible for my children to not be spectators throughout life. They don't have to press their noses up on the glass of life and watch everybody else do things. They actually get to participate and do just what everybody else is doing. And I'm truly grateful. From the bottom of my heart, I love buddies. Where would we be without our helpers? We just, nowhere.
Students also expressed increased feelings of self-efficacy. As critical as the buddy system was to the success of the children, it also contributed to positive outcomes for the university student buddies. Many of the buddies described feeling more comfortable working with children with disabilities as a result of their experience with ACP. They also described feeling that they had more confidence in their ability to work with children with disabilities as a result of their participation in ACP. These findings are supported by previous researchers examining authentic context learning experience in working with children with disabilities, including Harrigan and Van Wielden and Ripple. Kivijari and Pauchinen studied the impacts of a similar program for children with disabilities paired with buddies to put on a concert. In their research, they interviewed students, parents, teachers, and audience members and performers, perceptions of the performers and the performance, They found that once the performance began, audience members and performers focused on the music making. They were able to see the students' capabilities rather than their disabilities. Kivijarvi and Puchinen concluded that this change in perception gave the students with disabilities the social capital of being part of a group. Putnam claimed that when one gains social capital, they are able to be part of something bigger and therefore have the same sense of belonging. Another finding was that parents, university buddies, and cast members expressed feelings of happiness and enjoyment. They expressed happiness for themselves and also for the cast members as they watched them rehearse, perform, and develop the buddy relationship. One parent said, "The program not only brought joy to our son, but to our family. To see him, to be able to find something that he truly loves and can excel at is truly special to us." One of the university buddies said, "I got just as much out of it and I really enjoyed it. It's great. Like saying it's a great experience for me is almost selfish, but it was a great experience for me teaching wise and also life wise. It made me happy and it made others happy." The final finding was that it was a respite for parents. Parents explained that when you are a parent of a student with special needs, you are always on call when you are not with your child. They expressed feeling anxious and worried at first, but then they learned to relax. "So yeah, we dropped them off. The first couple of times we just sat in the parking lot waiting for the call that something went wrong. We're programmed to be on call. But then after a while, we left. We had a date. We went and got cupcakes. We never got a call. Somehow, it was handled." The families were impressed with the undergraduate dedication to the program, which provided the necessary consistency of seeing the same buddy weekly. Another parent remarked, "I was really worried because without me being around, and especially with this nice young college student, how could she handle it if my son has some behavior issues? If he gets angry, if he has some conflict with other kids, how can they help manage conflicts between the kids?" But when this college student said, "Let's go," he just followed her directions, which was amazing. At the end of the project, they kind of developed a nice relationship. He keeps talking about her all the time. And she went on to say, "And the director never called me during rehearsals. She would just tell me at pickup time, 'Oh, he had a bit of a challenge, touching another kid, but we were able to redirect him.' Amazing. They handled it. They never called me." So our findings seem to indicate that the use of a buddy system is critical for children with disabilities to participate in the arts beyond individual lessons. If students require one-on-one support to learn in school, then it is imperative to provide programs in the arts that can maintain that same level of support. Arts educators hoping to offer a similar program to their communities should strive to incorporate a one-on-one support program. For teacher educators, it appears that experiences such as ACP can provide the practical learning experience necessary for pre-service educators to understand the capabilities of students with disabilities. In addition, pre-service educators may gain the knowledge and skills needed to feel confident to work with students with disabilities. On your car before. Here's a sample of our reference list. And if you would like to contact us for any more information, here's our contact information. Thank you very much for listening.